precautions necessary during COVID outbreak. PSTA has developed several methods of ensuring the ability of the public to comment prior to and during the virtual meeting. It has established 3 options. First, during the meeting, the public can provide their comments via telephone by calling 415-655-0002. The meeting ID is 2301-572-1894. Individuals will be able to speak. Individuals will be able to speak for 3 minutes during the public comment period. Again, to make a public comment today during the meeting, members of the public should call 415-655-0002 and enter meeting ID 2301-572-1894. This information is also on the screen at this time. The second option allowed for public comment is to submit your written comments prior to the meeting and mail them to PSTA. You can also email your comments to PSTA at publiccomments@psta.net. Are there any members of the public on the phone who would like to speak?
There's no public comment.
Thank you. Okay. Now, for the record, I would like to confirm that all of you can speak and see each other, so we will be doing a roll call. Let me pull up my attendance list. Okay, Mark O'Hara, me, is here. Next, Roman. Please unmute and let us know if you're here.
Here.
Okay. And Carla Correa. Gloria.
I'm here.
Okay. Andrea Barron.
I am here.
Jay James.
Yes, ma'am. The way the insurance company broke it up.
She had an emergency, so she won't be here.
Thank you. Chelsea Snyder.
Chelsea's here.
Okay. Max Johnson. Terry Dunphy.
I'm here.
Sebastian Zabardo.
In that location.
Sebastian? No? Okay. Edward Klump.
Edwin, but I'm here.
Okay. Jenna Sierra.
Here.
Mark Boyce.
Here.
Elizabeth Olden.
Here.
Yay, welcome back. Kim Rankin.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you all. Is there anybody's name who I did not call? Okay. Now we'll move into item number 3 on our agenda, and that is the chairperson's report. So good afternoon again, TRAC members and panelists. In the interest of time, I will briefly mention the topics covered at the July 2022 PSTA board meeting. We heard a presentation about the collaboration of PSTA with the Pinellas County School Board for all students to ride free to and from school on PSTA buses. And the board voted in favor of a service agreement with Duke Energy to provide the electrical charging infrastructure for PSTA's electric bus fleet. To continue the millage rate of 0.75 to the property appraiser, and to support an enhanced transit app agreement that includes direct connect integration. That's all from the chairperson's report. I will add in that I did add Transit Royale on my phone, and it's wonderful to use. And for now, we're going to go over to a forward Pinellas report, and for that, we're going to Gloria.
Thank you. I don't have anything urgent to report because we have not had meetings over the summer. The next meeting will be next Thursday of the CAC. I was hoping that Sebastian would be on today's call because he's considering being the CAC rep or the PSTA TRAC rep at CAC. But I need him to be at the next meeting. So if he chooses to do it, he'll be the next one giving the report. But for now, it's just me. Yeah, so nothing to report.
Okay, thank you, Gloria. With that, with the reports out of the way, we're now going to move into our informational items, number 5 on the list. First up is going to be the election of a vice chair. And for that, we're going to hand it over to Bob Lasher.
Thank you, Mark, and everyone. I appreciate it. I just wanted to put this slide up for a minute. I'm going to take it down again. We will take nominations for people who would be interested in becoming the vice chair. And because we're not in person we can usually hand out some paper, do the ballots in secret. So here's what we're going to do today. If there's more than one nomination, I will ask you to email me your ballot by the end of the week. That way, nobody will be influenced by somebody else's vote, or, like when I was in kindergarten and nobody voted for me, nobody will be embarrassed. So we want to do this in a way that's as polite as possible. So first, we'll open it up on the floor for people who would either nominate someone or nominate themselves to be the vice chair. Gloria, I see Gloria's got your hand up.
I'm unmuted. I wanted to nominate Ramon if he's interested. I had mentioned that to him at the live meeting. Ramon, are you interested in being vice chair?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yep, thank you.
Okay, so I'm nominating him.
All right. We have nomination of Roman. Anyone else? Any other nominations? It's chomping at the bit here.
Here, I'll nominate someone if they will take the position. Would Elizabeth like to come back as the vice chair? She's only been on the committee for 7 minutes, so.
Yes,
Okay.
but you're not right next to me to tell me what I'm supposed to say.
I know.
Because I had so much help. I won't have that help. So I don't know if you can trust me to get it right. You can nominate me, but it won't be pretty.
Okay. Well, I will nominate Elizabeth.
Okay.
All right.
I'm warning you. Yeah. Don't you leave on us, Mark.
Okay.
You sent me for a loop that year.
I forgot about that. That's right. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any other nominations?
The file you were about to.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll close nominations. Here's what I'll do. After the end of the meeting today, I will send everybody an email with Elizabeth and Roman. And then please ask that you email me back with your ballot by the end of the week. And as soon as I get them tallied, I'll send everyone an email, and we will also announce it at next month's meeting, which, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, is in person. Is that right, Marianne? Next month?
I think it depends on the COVID situation.
Okay.
Because the last time we tried to meet in person, we weren't able to achieve the quorum. So many people preferred virtual. So
Well, half the planning department's out with it right now.
yeah, we'll have to decide on that. I'm going to say virtual for right now.
Okay.
Oh, and just a reminder, do not reply to all, do not copy other TRAC members because of the sunshine rules. Okay? Just reply to Bob with your selected vice chair.
All right. And thank you everyone for your participation in nominations and willingness to serve.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Next, we're going to talk to Bonnie again, and she's going to give us some updates on PSTA access.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Yes, I'm Bonnie Epstein. I'm the Director of Mobility. Good afternoon, TRAC members. We could go to the first slide. So just giving a little update on PSTA access. So we're approximately 1 year into our revamped PSTA access program. So about a year ago, we had a lot of changes. We started to charge fares again. We were taking the calls for reservations for both MOD and access in-house. We had our new eligibility process in full swing. We started to use a new software program. Our new contractors came on last July, so that's been about a year. But we have the same commitment to providing the highest level of reliable, safe transportation services to our most important customers. And what we can see is that ridership is definitely up. On-time performance is up, and our complaints are declining. But perhaps most significant is what you can see from these pie charts. We've seen a flip from traditional pre-scheduled paratransit services to our real-time mobility on demand program. So you see here in with the pies, July 2021, about 2/3 of our service was done on traditional paratransit. And July 2022, we see the opposite. 2/3 of the ridership is now on MOD. So this is probably the biggest change that we've had for the PSA Access program. And I was reminded of that recently at an Apta conference. So after I had given a presentation about our program, a longtime paratransit manager from Phoenix, who himself has a visual disability, came up to thank me for what PSA is doing to lead the entire industry to a better level of service. So during this presentation, the one that I always give about PSA Access, I always talk about how our MOD riders are always using the service to go out to dinner, going out to Applebee's, and everybody laughs at this part of the presentation. But this paratransit manager said, finally, there's a transit system that is realizing that people with disabilities are normal. These people have normal needs and that they want to go to Applebee's just like everybody else. And I thought this was really great to hear because it's something that I'm always talking about. I'm always excited to share that our MOD program really allows riders not to just take trips to doctor's appointments, but riders can and do go almost everywhere they want. I mean, we have to contain service to Pinellas County. We're not going all over the country. But I'm so thankful to all of my staff on the PSA mobility team, our contractors, Brad, Commissioner Cox, our TRAC members, and the rest of the PSCA board for their support in our paratransit services. If we could go to the next slide. We're making good progress on improving how we use our new software, as I mentioned. We've done a lot of refining, correcting, making efficiency improvements since this past February and March when we were still adjusting to using the new spare software. So I'm happy that things are going better. And we're looking to have some additional improvements in the future. But I did want to bring up a story about a recent trip that didn't go so well. So our friend and PSA track rider, Kim Rankin, had a tough experience recently when her trip was late because First Transit didn't have enough drivers on the road. And then when her driver did arrive, she had to go out of the way to get another customer, again, because we didn't have enough drivers on duty. And it turned out that other rider had tried to cancel their trip, but the PSCA reservation agent had forgotten to cancel their return in the system. So I'm mentioning this story to, of course, thank Kim for being so understanding, but also I'm proud of our mobility team for immediately getting to work and diagnosing all the problems and correcting them. We've met a bunch with First Transit, and they've reoriented their driver assignments. And here at PSCA, we've been able to give our reservation agents some extra training and coaching. So thankfully, we haven't had those issues since. We are always trying to look at what our problems are and improve and constantly do better. If we go to the next slide. We do have our PSCA Rider App that's going to be pushed out to riders this Thursday, August 18th. So the biggest benefit that we're seeing for this app is that riders can book their trips 24 hours, their access trips 24 hours in advance through the Rider App. Right now, riders are also going to be able to view their past trips and upcoming trips for the access service. Later this year, we plan to allow riders to add a credit card so they can pay for their access trips with a credit card. And then early next year, allow riders to book their MOD real-time trips in the rider-facing app. If we go to the next slide, we're really excited about this app. We think it's going to be a great benefit for the riders to be able to book and check on their trips outside of business hours. So again, the rides still need to be booked 24 hours in advance, but before that, you can book and check on your trips anytime before that. We also think that this will relieve some pressure on our call center and just give riders other options, other ways that they can book their trips. If we go to the next slide. We are doing a lot of, in the way of marketing this new app, really want to get the word out and let riders know they have this other option. So this Wednesday or tomorrow evening, we're going to be sending out a robocall to all of our active PSTA access riders, letting them know about the app. We also have a mailer going out to the home addresses we have on file for our access riders. Our drivers of the PSTA access vehicles will be handing out flyers on the rides to let customers know about the app. We also have some of those flyers going to doctors' offices, dialysis clinics, the VA, so that those doctors' offices can let the clients know about the app. We have a video on how to use the app that will be going out. And we also have a help desk. So that'll be one of the options in our phone tree. I think it's option 8. So if riders have any questions with the app, they'll be able to have a specific phone number just for that. If you go to the next slide. We did do some rider testing, wanted to get rider feedback. We held a couple focus groups. So this picture actually is of the focus group. I did insist that we take our picture there, but we had some riders come in, test out the app, give us their feedback, wanted to make sure that it was user-friendly enough, and then any feedback that we got from the riders, we did give to our spare team that's powered this app. If we go to the next slide. So we do think that the app will be a great improvement, a great option for all of our customers. We really are looking to make improvements to the software and making it more efficient. We do have some new features with the spare software that we're looking to use really for the first transit drivers. That's the driver brakes feature and manual dispatching. We're going to be testing those soon. And I mentioned with Kim's Ride that we're really working together as a team with the first transit user, Bay Area Metro drivers, the spare software, our internal team, reservation agents, to really improve the customer experience and improve efficiency for the access service. So we know Bonnie. You're welcome. We know that there's going to be some challenges with the rider-facing app. I'm both nervous and excited about it coming out. We know that there's going to be some people who think they're booking the trips, they're going through, maybe they don't go through, or the opposite, trips are being, lots of trips are being booked, but we've got all hands on deck for this. And again, we're hoping to learn, how the riders are using the app, any questions they have, and make continuous improvements. But with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you, Bonnie. Does anybody on the committee have questions in regards?
Yes. What about the pre-planned, like every Sunday to go to Mass? It's set right now. They show up about 10 or shortly thereafter, and I always leave an extra half hour, so I'm there by 11. Am I going to have to redo that with the computer, or is it going to be pasted over to the computer?
So any trips that you already have booked, like the standing orders, will be
standing orders.
Yeah. So you'll just be able to see those. So the trips will remain. What's interesting about the app, if you download it, is you'll be able to see those trips, even the ones booked not through the app. You can see them in there, just to make sure that they should be there for you to view. And I did point out, or forget to mention, that anybody the app is live now, so anyone on TRAC can download it. If you're a current PSTA access rider, you'll be able to log in. If not, you can just see the app and it'll just be there.
Where is the app? Because I just went on Play Store and I didn't find it.
So it's PSTA access. And you search that and weren't able to see it?
I'm not seeing it.
Maybe we can set up a time to talk offline, because I know, one of our test riders had the same issue and they had to search for something else. I'm just not sure what it was.
It says Spare Labs Inc. At the bottom?
Yeah, it should be branded as PSA Access though.
I did find it now. Yeah, it was actually way down on the search, which is kind of strange because I specifically put in PSTA access and it gave me all kinds of other stuff. But yes, I got it now. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah. Just log in with the phone number that we have on file. So it's likely your cell phone number. And if you do, then you're good to go. If anything happens, just let me know. We'll work through it.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. Does anybody else have any questions? Wonderful. All right, with that, we'll move on to the next item, and that's going to be the Transit Development Plan, our bus service plan update. And for that, we're going to be going to Heather Sobush and Nicole Duda.
It will actually be Devin Deal and Heather Sobush.
Okay.
So good afternoon, track members. I am Devin Deal. I'm a transit planner here with PSTA, and I'll be presenting along with our planning director, Heather Sobush, on our Transit Development Plan Progress Report and Community Bus Plan. Next slide. So the Transit Development Plan has 10-year major updates that are due every 5 years, and this timeline allows for incorporation into the MPO's long-range transportation plan. The last 10-year major update was in 2020, and our community bus plan, which Heather will introduce you to later, kind of guides the goals and projects that we lay out in the TDP. What I'm presenting today is a TDP Progress Report. These are due annually by September 1st, and the annual Progress Report just includes updates on projects that are included in the TDP. So the TDP is an FDOT requirement as well as the annual update, and it really mandates good planning. Every time we ask for money for a project from FDOT, they ask us if the project is in our TDP, and we tell them, of course it is, and then they give us money. But more than that, we use this as a way to have the conversation about what the vision for Pinellas County Transit should be. We tend to go above and beyond in our coordination with the MPO with their long-range transportation plan, as well as TBARTA with their master plan. And because of this coordination, we've set the trend with how FDOT will move forward and change the timelines for all agencies and how they're required to coordinate. With that in mind, I'm excited to tell you about some of the elements included in our TDP Progress Report that we've achieved this year. Next slide. So first, I want to speak a little on our Sustainable Strategic Plan. This was incorporated in 2021 and serves as the guiding document for nearly everything we do as an organization. The SSP establishes our short, medium, and long-term goals, and it allows us to analyze and measure our progress and sustainability with every project, ensuring they align with the triple bottom line of healthy communities and workforce, economic vitality, and environmental sustainability. And most of the projects you hear about today tie back into one of these. Next slide. So finally, I'm sure you're all just as excited as we are. After years of work, the BRT will be launching in October this year. We're wrapping up the final phases of construction on the Summerner to prepare for our fall launch. We also conducted a transit-oriented development analysis of areas surrounding the Summerner stations to facilitate increased density and more mixed-use development, transit-focused development in the immediate areas around the station. The image in the top right is one of those concept designs at 58th Street Station. It's the kind of mixed-use development that we really want to encourage around those stations, and we're coordinating with the city and the MPO for that. Next slide. So this month, PSTA was awarded $20 million for the US DOT RAISE grant for the construction of a LEED certified Clearwater Transit Center in downtown Clearwater, which is extremely exciting. These images shown in the slide are design concepts for the transit center, and this will provide a much needed hub that will also be able to accommodate our electric buses, which our current facilities can't. So this is huge for us and another big step forward for sustainability. Next slide. With our electric bus program, we've partnered into a new service agreement with Duke for over $5 million to install and maintain solar electric bus charging infrastructure for 10 years. This allows us to continue to expand our e-bus fleet and continue with our contract for the purchase of 60 electric buses from Gillig, keeping us on track to eventually achieve our goal of a fully electric fleet. Next slide. So we've also had a strong focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion as an organization, and creating an equity index was part of our sustainable strategic plan. We completed ours earlier this year. We're in the process of incorporating the equity index into the shelter deployment plan, which we've previously presented to TRAC and the planning committee to help target our amenities in areas of equity concern in the county where they're needed most. Also, just last month, we increased the income qualifications for the Transit Disadvantage Program from 150% of the federal poverty level to 200% of the federal poverty level. Next slide. Through fiscal year 22, we've maintained our extremely successful Direct Connect and late shift programs, partnering with Uber and Lyft to get people where they need to go when a bus can't. We also received another grant this year to expand our mobility services to offer regional trips. So we'll be making headway on that soon. Next slide. As mentioned earlier as well, we're now partnering with Pinellas County Schools, allowing any student to ride any route for free in Pinellas County with a student ID. With the bus driver shortage in the county, PSTA really wanted to step up and help families fill that gap. We also have our partnership with Duke that was previously mentioned to fund the solar charging stations on campus at PSTA. And we continue partnering with AVA this year, piloting our autonomous transit services in downtown Clearwater and Dunedin. So it has been an extremely exciting and busy year for us. And with that update on our TDP progress, I'll be turning us over to Heather Sobush to discuss our community bus plan.
Next slide, please. Good afternoon, everyone. So the reason these two items are together in the same presentation is that the transit development plan, as Devin mentioned, is updated approximately every 5 years. And that plan contains the planning work we do through what we call the bus plan, the bus service plan. And it also contains things like that we take directly from our budget. So really it's just compiling a lot of other work into one plan that the DOT requires. So in 2019, we completed our last community service bus plan. It starts with a big onboard survey. You guys may remember if you were on a bus, getting a survey. We have people that go out with tablets and help people walk through the survey. It included multiple scenarios with no new revenue and then maybe some incremental expansion if we got a little additional funding. And then because it was a no new revenue, it focused a lot on streamlining our services to increase efficiency and enhancing service on core routes incrementally. Devin already mentioned, we coordinate this with the long range transportation plan, and that next one's due to be adopted in November, December 2024. So we're doing a procurement now to get a consultant to help us with this work, and then we'll start it in 2023, and it will be done in time for us to incorporate it into our new TDP and as well as the first 10 years of the Forward Pinellas Long Range Transportation Plan. Next slide, please. So the proposed scope for this bus plan includes, I mentioned already, includes onboard survey. So that's the first step. And then we use that data. It tells us where people are going to and from, how they're accessing transit, what routes they're transferring to. And I think last year we collected 4,000 valid surveys. So we get a lot of really important data from that survey. The scope also includes a good deal of outreach as well as employee inreach. We had focus groups previously with bus operators, and we plan to do that again, and customer service associate or representatives. And then the biggest part of this planning effort is the ability to look at and evaluate multiple scenarios and other opportunities to improve service in our community. So we typically do a status quo or no new budget or no new revenue scenario. We do incremental expansion, as I was mentioning. So looking at if we got, a few $1 million here or there, where would we put that additional service? And then we do a vision. So what would we put out on the road if we had all the funding we needed to really put great service out? And then some other opportunities that have been brought up through our various committees include looking at the services and how they connect into Sunrunner, and then opportunities for us to better supplement school bus service. So finally, it will conclude with recommendations and implementation plans. And you'll be seeing us again. We'll be coming back multiple times during the planning process next year to talk with you all and get your ideas and thoughts. And then you'll probably see us out in the community as well. Next slide. So the next steps, there you go. So the next steps, issue a request for proposals in next month, and then we'll have a couple months to review the proposals, and procurement will do negotiations, and then we plan to bring it back to the board for approval of a contract with a consultant by December. That's all, and Devin or I would be happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you both. Anybody on the committee have questions for either Devin or Heather?
Yay, planning.
I have one question, but you might not be able to tell me much about it. On the map you showed at the end, there was an orange line going up 275 into Tampa, and it said in planning or something like that. Is there any more information you guys are able to share with us about transit going over the Howard Franklin, like expansion of the 100, or no?
So that was part of the regional rapid transit project.
Okay.
That, you know, is delayed because no one can come to agreement on what would happen in Hillsborough County. So so that's what that is. Otherwise, we don't have specific plans to, I mean, improve the 100X just because it's a funding, you know.
Okay, I just thought there was something in the works that was like not known yet, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting.
It might be perpetually in planning.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe one day.
Yes. Gloria, what's up?
I know Devin mentioned the transit center in Clearwater. What's the status on that in terms of the plan?
Well, we got a $20 million raise grant. And I think there's a little bit extra that we need to come up with to match it due to inflation, but otherwise it'll move into, once we have the funding all assembled, it'll move into design.
I guess, I'm not, is there still, I know that there was an email that came out from Bob about something going on Thursday with Clearwater City Hall, the mayor of Clearwater. I'm not sure, is that still a problem, or is that still something we need to address?
No, the city, the council confirmed that that was the site that we would be using for the Clearwater Transit Center at Court and Myrtle.
Oh, good. There's not an issue on Thursday?
No, there is.
Oh yeah, that was a work session.
I don't know if this is right on it. We were going to talk about this, Mark, but I can talk about it now if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. Number one, thanks entirely to you. You guys were the ones who finally got us the $20 million, is because you guys all went there and signed that petition. And, you know, I'm sure that Secretary Pete Buttigieg and the people in Washington, D.C. got that. And that's the reason we finally got it. Way to go. That was very exciting. Then my happy excitement dance kind of went down the tubes when I saw that the Tampa Bay Times article that the city manager was not too excited about it, and he kind of, you know, put some question marks into it. You probably saw that article. The good news is yesterday I was at Clearwater City Council at a workshop, so they couldn't really vote. But the council unanimously is supportive of moving forward, getting the money and getting a new transit center, just like we asked. So that is great. But they asked me to come back and ask me if any of you would be willing to come to Clearwater this Thursday night at 6:00. And those who are PSA Access members, you could try out your new app, because the app will be live. You can type it in Clearwater Library, which is where the city council meets, is in the Clearwater Library, into the app, and you can get an access right there. But yeah, the Thursday night, and then because that will be a regular city council meeting where we can provide public comment, and they just asked, the council was very excited to hear from you or folks about why a new transit center is so important to them. They are very, very positive about it. And so yeah, now we're able to move forward. As Heather mentioned, we are, you know, just like everything, we are updating all of our cost estimate numbers, and we're assuming that the construction is going to go up in price because of inflation. So we are looking to Pinellas County to provide some funding, and I'm optimistic that will that they will come to the table and provide some funding. And then I think PSPA we can rearrange so that we can make sure we have enough money when we do start constructing this new transit center. Hopefully in about a year from now, it'll start construction, or maybe a little less than a year even. Yeah. So come with me. I hope that maybe some of you might be able to join me on this Thursday, 6:00, Clearwater Library, which is right downtown there.
All right, thank you, Brad. Unfortunately, I know I will not be able to go on Thursday. However, I hope that many of you on the committee are able to go and express how important this project is.
Okay, we have another question for Brad from Sebastian Zamardo. He's not on the screen. He's having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
But he wanted to ask Brad, was an environmental study completed on the Clearwater Transit Center?
Yes, yes, there was.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one of the keys. I mean, of course, the TRAC signature drive was the number one reason, but the number two reason was we completed an environmental document already on the site. So it's as they like to say, shovel ready. It's a shovel ready project, so to speak.
Okay, great. Thank you. From Sebastian.
Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
For Brad.
Yeah.
It sounded, I wanted this question to be completely open with the sunshine law, but the city council wants to hear from TRAC members to see why we think that building the new center is a good idea. Like at that look, it seems like we had one opportunity to listen to the experts about the low roof and it's too small, you know, but if someone who really knows their things that we're not familiar with, they could easily make a novice look like a fool.
Oh, well, no, I think what the council was very supportive. You know, they already have been briefed many times on the details of this project, and they voted a year ago unanimously then to move forward with this project and be very supportive. And I think what they were just asking me when they asked me for rider comments is just sort of just like you were saying, to go there and just as a user of the system, why the current Clearwater Transit Center is really old and not sufficient and not good, and why a new center is so desperately needed.
And not adequate. It seemed like a no-brainer, and it's nice that they want actual riders' opinions, but I've been to meetings, where if you don't know what you're in for, so we just wanted to send our best people.
Yeah.
Know.
Well, remember,
I might not be the right guy for it because I've only been, I think we need a new center, and I'm optimistic, but they could go, well, you live in Pinellas Park. Where I go, yeah, but I go through there, I mean, they could start, depending on the questioning, they could make you look like, why spend 36, I mean, so I just got nervous for my fellow TRAC members.
Typically, they won't ask you questions. They will just allow you up to make your comment and usually thank you.
Okay. Sorry. I don't mean to be so pessimistic.
But you bring up a good point. This center is the nerve hub for the entire mid and northern county. So it's relevant to a huge audience, not just Clearwater.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And even expansion for the future, they said, for maybe rail and everything else. So
yeah.
Any other comments, questions on the our development plan update? Okay. With that, we're going to move on to the last of our informational items, and that's how to be a Sunrunner ambassador. And Juan Levian is going to come and talk to us.
Well, actually, Juan had to take the day off, so I'm going to be playing Juan today and taking care of this. As we've talked about, this is a really exciting time. I'm gonna stop sharing. I mean, we just had the news that we've been saving for the end of the meeting because it was the best for last. But along with this great grant in Clearwater, October 21st will be the ribbon cutting and the opening of the Sunrunner. That's a Friday evening. Now that is going to be a really big endeavor because as we launch that, We are going to have volunteers around the stations for the major launch. We want to have people out at most of them, if not all of them. And we want them out there for several days because it's a service like not just we haven't done before, but like the entire Tampa Bay region hasn't seen before. So we are putting together a large schedule. We'll be asking people to volunteer, probably doing it through Sign Up Genius. We'll pass that along to you because we really need people who know their stuff when it comes to riding PSTA. And there'll be two different options. They're not going to be long, maybe 2, maybe 3 hours at the most outside. And then we have staff and I suppose if some of you want also 4-hour shifts that'll be on the buses as well. So when people come to these stations, we want someone there to greet them. You'll have shirts on. After dark, there'll be 2 people per station. We'll have lots of supervisors going around in cars. It's going to be exceptionally safe, exceptionally welcoming, and I think exceptionally exciting. So we'll be sending more out. Keep your eyes out for those in the coming weeks. And you can also, like I said, we're going to have some neat new Sunrunner shirts, and it's going to be an all hands on deck. And it's almost beyond description.
Question. Hearing that it's on a Friday evening piques my interest. Do you know what time the ribbon cutting will be, or has that all been set in stone yet?
I don't think that's been set in stone yet.
Okay. For those of us that work
at my last meeting, I don't know, Brad, maybe Brad knows.
No, yeah. Good question, Mark. We're all wondering. We're thinking about like 2:00 for the actual like ribbon cutting, and then the inaugural ride out to sort of a reception kind of thing around, like 3:30 kind of thing. But that's still TBD. It's still not set in stone because we're hopefully going to get some dignitaries from Washington, D.C. to come. So that might shift a little bit, but around the afternoon of Friday, October 21.
Totally understand. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
Anybody else have questions about being a Sunrunner ambassador?
I'm Chelsea. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes,
you can.
Yeah.
If I wanted to ride the Sunrunner the first day, is that possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or is it just to open it?
Well,
good.
It's a good question. So the Sunrunner is opening on Friday, October 21st. It will be free to ride for the first 6 months of its operation. So there's no problem paying the fare. On Friday the 21st, you're welcome to come as a track member. Certainly, you're welcome to come to the event and ride on the inaugural ride. We'll invite all of you. But probably what will happen is the service will start with the ribbon cutting, and then from then on it will be open. 6 a.m. to midnight every day.
If I wanted to participate the 21st, where should I go?
Again, yeah, we'll get you more information exactly the time and place for it to go to be on the to go to the ribbon cutting and the inaugural ride. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody's looking forward to this. Okay, any other questions? Wonderful. We'll now move into the member comments section. Do any of the committee members have comments they would like to share that have not been addressed already during our meeting? Gloria.
I just wanted to say, I am still hunting for things that would be good star awards for this year. And interestingly, one thing that just came to me today is, I don't know how many of you are aware that, now that the North Loop on the Duke Energy Trail just opened, and it's wonderful, I love it. But the really cool thing was when they put in the traffic lights for the trail, they actually made it safer for bus riders. There's a bus stop that was right there by the trail that no one could safely get across Countryside Boulevard to or from it anyway. And now there's wonderful access. They've improved the ramps to it and everything. And so, I mean, I hate to keep always nominating Forward Pinellas and County Public Works for things, but that was really exciting. And that was one of the ideas that I had. So just telling everybody to keep looking for ideas, because that the more we point out to people that they've made it better for transit riders, inadvertently, it's good. So.
And all the development I see is Sunrunner stations, and I don't think we can nominate PSTA for their own award. Although it does help.
Actually, Gloria, this is Heather. I was wondering, have you noticed the new VA location where the Toys R Us used to be?
Yes.
And we actually moved our bus stop location, our bus stop sign, so that it would be right there by the pad they poured.
I thought about that too. Can we, I think that's one that we need to nominate also. So I don't know, Bob, if you want to tell me what I need to give you on an application for us to vote on that. But I agree, that is beautiful. I was hoping they'd put in that access there and that we move the bus stop. So it's like us working with them. And so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't changed the application. It would be the same. It should still be right online under the TRAC page.
Like the 2 or 3 things I talked about. Does anyone else want to nominate somebody besides me? I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other member comments? Other business. I have in here, please remind Bob to give an update on the Clearwater, on the Grand Central Terminal departure boards.
Oh, the departure, that's right. Hey, thanks for reminding me. I was talking with Henry, and apparently they do have a workaround. He's waiting for parts to come in. It actually had to do with some weird proprietary USB technology. So he's working on that. And I don't know if we mentioned, I think we did mention to you, the October service change, the general service change is the Sunday before the Sunrunner opens on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be moving the bays at Grand Central. So for the people who go through Grand Central Station, you're going to see some of the buses coming into new bays as opposed to where they have been.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm hoping everything will be set up by that. And we'll have A-frames and supervisors and staff there for several days just to make sure, we're all creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
So people are going to go to where they've always been and they'll have to look it up. So no, you're on the other side or a few bays over.
Yeah. I have 2 questions regarding Grand Central, since you reminded me. Thank you. When you come into Grand Central from Central Avenue and you're looking towards First Avenue South and the YMCA, they have the barricades there going towards that new Sunrunner station. Is that driveway going to reopen?
I think you're talking about the little plastic little things to. No, that's going to remain permanently like that.
Oh.
Because it was actually the city and that apartment complex right there. That's just east of Grand Central.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Sunrunner station there, and they didn't want cars turning into their parking garage, right in front of the Sunrunner station and the buses going right there.
Yeah.
And so they've done a lot of training of the people that live in that apartment they actually drive through the station on the inside and turn into their parking.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was talking about on Grand Central. They have barricades up so our buses, PSTA buses, can't pull out. Will that be? Yeah. Are they going to remove that barricade so buses can leave the 18 is going to be able to leave Grand Central and just go straight east on First Avenue? Because right now 18 is leaving and it's coming out, going on to Central, west of 34th Street to First Avenue South, and then
and around in a circle. Oh,
yep. Yep.
I'll find out. I think they should be able to. Yeah. Exit.
Yeah, I figured they were waiting until the Sunrunner station opens or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And my other question regarding it is, I heard a comment on the bus Saturday, and it took every inch of my willpower to not tell these people that they were wrong. They were like, the Grand Central trolley stopping at 6:00 every night now when the new Sunrunner starts. I was like, I don't think that's right. That is not right, correct?
No, but it won't be going, it'll be stopping at 75th and Gulf. It will not be going after 6 PM. It will not be going down to County Beach Park.
But the bus will still be running.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be running back and forth in St. Petersburg, just like it does now. It'll just, after 6 o'clock, it'll, instead of ending way down at the bottom of St. Pete Beach, it'll end at 75th and Gulf. Yeah.
And then what if it go to like 30-minute service at that time too or something?
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was, but I didn't want to, we'll just let it go. I'm like,
yeah.
Any other member comments? All righty. And okay, that was about it because the other thing to mention was the Clearwater Transit Center, and we've already had our discussion on that. I hope that some of you are able to go and represent TRAC at the Clearwater Library this Thursday. I do apologize that I'm not able to get there and speak on behalf of TRAC, but I trust that many of you will be able to go and voice our knowledge of transit riders in Pinellas County. And with that, our meeting is adjourned until let me see, I forgot the date for the next one. Our next one will be September 20th. Wow, September 20th already at 4 o'clock.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.